Hello, everybody. Can a perfectionist be a narcissist, or is a narcissist also a perfectionist? What is the connection between these two personalities? This is what we will try to find out today on our day 6 of the 10 mini live sessions on perfectionism. I got these questions. Can perfectionism be a trait of narcissism? And how can we specify this? Another question. Are narcissism and perfectionism parallels? I like how you already understood that there's some overlap. Before we start on today's topic, between the connection on perfectionism and narcissism, which was a very often question, let me tell you how thankful I am for all your positive feedback. People are writing to me every day telling me how eye-opening these sessions are. And every time we have a different topic and you love it. And actually you love it because they're your questions. These were the questions that you sent me and I keep answering them. Others, they realized what is their source of stress and unfulfillment in their life. Others of you, and many of you actually, have bought the course and you are already working towards the change of mindset that will bring you more inner peace and motivation and less stress and self-sabotage. And in the course, once a month, we meet live, and this is included in the price, no extra fees. We meet online, and I help you personally in your struggles in regards to anxiety caused by perfectionism. So, looking forward to seeing you in our next live. I also appreciate you. Thank you for the message. About our topic today, let's talk about that. I got these questions. Can perfectionism be a trait of narcissism? And how can we specify this? Another question. Are narcissism and perfectionism parallels? I like how you already understood that there's some overlap, but we're going to explain that. As I always say, with these terms, let's be careful how we use them. We're not going to use the narcissistic label or the perfectionistic label only to judge others. We want to see how perfectionism or narcissism, how these behaviors are, how often they are, how intense they are, how problematic they are, how they impact our lives. That's what we care of, not to put a label on somebody and then say, well, that's it, I'm done with you and I'm leaving. We're not going to use that for this reason, not for judging, only to see what is it that we want to change. All right? So let me tell you what are the main characteristics of narcissism in order to see where we're going to draw the line. So on the one hand, we have the narcissist who displays grandiosity. And I'm talking about an unrealistic sense of inferiority. I'm the best. Look at me. And now that I said, look at me, they also want to attract a lot of admiration and praise. They need constant admiration and praise. Vulnerability to feedback. Whenever you give them feedback, you see how they take it personally, how defensive they become. They don't want to admit that they made a mistake or that they are infallible. Lack of empathy. Is as if there's a wall between them and other people. They don't understand how their words hurt other people. And also, they frequently demean or belittle or bully others. So these are some of the characteristics of narcissism. Now, on the other hand, we have the perfectionist who has already high expectations of themselves or of others, who is highly critical of themselves or others, who is hiding their true self because they're feeling ashamed and they don't want other people to feel that they are less, or they make mistakes, or they need help, or they struggle. So they're hiding their true self. They're not asking for help, as I also said, and they're feeling ashamed for the things that they haven't achieved, they haven't succeeded in, or for the mistakes that they have done. Can you see some overlap between narcissism and perfectionism? Narcissism can be considered as the dark side of perfectionism. Narcissism can be the extreme toxic perfectionist, not just the perfectionist, but the extreme toxic perfectionist. And the similarities between these two can be that both of them, they would impose unrealistic demands on others. Both of them, they would promote this false, fake image of imperfection and infallibility, and at the same time, very much trying to conceal imperfection. Both of them. Both of them, they will consider that imperfection is just intolerable. That no, I don't understand imperfection. And they would always strive towards unrelenting, unrealistic, lofty goals. However, what is the difference? The narcissist would not admit that they struggle to anybody, not even to their partners. You can have perfectionists that they are struggling but they would not show it to their friends, to their colleagues, to their family, to their parents. But there would be one person that could unlock them or come close to them. They would open up to a person, while the narcissist would be so convinced that there's nobody that they could admit that they're struggling. So that's one difference already. The narcissist would feel in their genes even that they are better than you, that they are stronger. They are striving for an environment or a relationship that's based on superiority. I'm superior and you're inferior. And that's something that I want to build and to make sure that it always is there so that I can feel better about myself. So the narcissist would want unbalanced relationship. So the narcissist also would hate teamwork. They don't want to work on the same level. They want to be the heroes. They want to be the one that saves the world, or they're never making mistakes. They want subordinates. They want people. They want to be above others. That's the difference. And of course, they're not going to be honest, as we said. They're not going to admit any failures or any mistakes. There's a thick wall of defensiveness that they would not admit having failed or making a mistake. Actually, they would reverse that and they would make it your mistake. They would make you feel responsible. So this is also how two things are happening. One is that they are reversing the relationship and they want this imbalanced relationship, but also they don't take responsibility. They feel that they are not a regular person. They are special, more special than you. Actually, they don't feel that you're special. They would also feel the need to impress strangers. They would not be so open-minded. They would feel that differences are very threatening. People that they have different opinions, that they wouldn't want to discuss the different opinion. They would only want to impose their own opinion. And the worst thing for a narcissist would be if somebody would imply that they don't have it together, that this is very fatal for them. So you can see the difference that is happening between them, between the perfectionist and the narcissist. And there are some types of perfectionists that they are even more prone to be a narcissistic perfectionist. There are three types of perfectionists, which is the self-oriented, the socially prescribed, and the other-oriented. The self-oriented is the perfectionist who has personal standards and they expect themselves to be perfect, while the other-oriented perfectionists are very judgmental of others. They are turning all this inner judge to others. So they expect other people to be perfect because they are perfect. So I'm going to teach you how to be perfect as well. And they can be very critical of them when they don't meet their expectations. And also the socially prescribed is though that they believe that being perfect is important to others. So they need to comply to other people's norms or rules. So according to studies, the more prone perfectionist to be a narcissist is the other-oriented, the one who is judging others, the one who is more aggressive, more bullying to others. And they have all these high expectations for them and the feeling of superiority. And that makes them, of course, very antisocial, the fact that they want to be outside of the circle of togetherness with other people. A narcissist would never meet a meeting like this, would never sit down to hear, how can I change my perfectionist? That's the most important rule that I want you to keep from this meeting. A narcissist would never admit that they're working on their self-sabotaging behaviors, or they would never admit that they would accept imperfection or mediocrity. They would never do something like that. They would never buy a course even that they would want to work on themselves. They don't accept that self-growth is for them. It's for somebody else, but not for them. They are perfect. However, a healthy perfectionist, and this is what we're striving for, this is what we're trying to achieve here, a healthy perfectionist would be open to learn, to grow, would be curious to find out what is the difference between one and the other. They would understand that their behavior, their perfectionistic behavior, sometimes isolates them from others, and they wouldn't want that. They would like to go back and try to be together, try to be connected again. They miss it, while a narcissist wouldn't miss it. They would think that this is accepted because I'm better than you, so why would I be connected with you? The healthy perfectionist would come to terms eventually with their mistakes and their failures, and they would understand that accepting failure is part of growth. So that is the main differences. That's where we draw the line, where a perfectionist understands that at the end of the day, this bothers me, this stops me, this stops my growth, while the narcissist wouldn't admit something like that. I hope it was clear. I'm open for your questions. That's a very vibrant question and topic, and I know that many of you are interested. So I'm looking forward to your questions or your comments so that we can explore further what it means. And again, we're not using these terms for labels or for judging, but in order to understand where's the line that we can draw between the toxic and the healthy behavior. Thank you very much for being here today. Exactly tomorrow, it's going to be this topic, the difference between toxic and healthy perfectionists, and we're going to discuss how we can be more on the healthy side and not on the toxic side. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you so much for all this interest and for all your comments. Take good care of yourself.